Whoo, that's the spicy one. That one will be good later. Interesting. Hello, hello. Boop. Do 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 do. Do 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 do. Be do do. So, bin the weapon H. Bin it again.
Minions to me. Coming for you.
Why do I keep running into people playing Weapon H in Hella? Can anyone explain it to me? Am I missing something? Why are we putting Weapon H in Hella? It says the word discard on it. I guess. Yeah, the Kale energy was sweet there. There was a community spotlight video with Hella and Weapon H. The auto deck was not Hella with Weapon H, no. I'd like to dedicate this game to the Redshift doubters out there. He's a fine lad who deserves his slot. Does he make a 5-drop or a 7-drop here? Actually. He makes a 5-drop here? That's actually pretty gas, yeah? So he never gives you an unplayable one? Because this fully resolves and then Redshift looks at the cost. Okay, yeah, that makes sense. I'd have lost my Black Knight without him, chat. Can we snap again? Asking the real questions. Are they chamber rape with deafening cord? They must be, yeah. Man, I got choices. I think I want to make them play for all of it. What do we think? Like, they probably beat this, but I don't think they can beat this while I can test these other two. So the last turn's going to be Ghost Rider here, bring back Infinite Hydro Man here. Hi, Haley girl.
Thank you for bringing my snack to school.
Yeah. Sorry, we forgot it. You got it, though?
Yeah.
All right, and now this is even better. Yeah.
Well,
Giddy up. You're a unicorn down here?
yeah. Giddy up.
You think, I assume they're just dead here.
Daddy, can you sit down?
So you can sit by me? Yeah.
I'm coming for you.
Me here.
Oh, careful. I don't want to crush your feet. I assume if they're adding 5 on the left, they're not beating 23 in the center. Assumption accurate.
Oh, we have the bigger number.
We do have the bigger numbers.
So we might win.
We did win.
Wait, it's already done? The game's already done? Why won't the picture crash it?
There he goes.
Wait, yeah.
Cromwell-Cade, try and refresh the stream if you haven't already, if you're logged in.
Daddy, now I have to buy a new one.
No, they don't have to buy a new one. It comes back every game.
I know, but they have to buy a new one for the game.
Oh, okay.
Not for real life. They don't have to buy.
Don't tell Second Dinner that. They might make that happen for real. Earmuffs, Second Dinner. Don't take monetization suggestions from the 5-year-old. 20 or more power sounds lovely.
Why do you have little headphones on?
Because I wanted to be able to hear you and talk to you, so I took them off.
So you could hear me when I came down?
Yeah, I like you.
Can you hear them?
No, I can't hear the game, but that's okay. You know you have skating today? Mm-hmm. You should make sure you have something good to eat before you go so you're not hungry during your lesson.
Can you give me when are you gonna go up?
I am not going to go up for a little while. Dave's gonna be working for a little bit, so you should go get your snack. And my back's still hurting, so I can't carry you up. Sorry. This person was playing Warlock stuff last time we played. Might still be.
Why are two the same? Why are they 0?
What's the 0?
That thing's up there.
Oh no, chat. What if they spider hand my infinite? Ugh. That would be really unlucky.
You shouldn't lay that card out.
Looks like end of turn stuff, probably.
You got free, they got free.
That's not bad.
They got free.
I think I want to get this filled up in the center. Hey Jeff, what types of decks tend to like Quake? I can see that she's strong, but it's not clear to me when I should play her and prefer her versus other cards. Thanks for the super chat, Sean. Shane. One of the reasons, for example, in this deck that I chose to reach for Quake is because a lot of the time we're playing a 3 or 4 energy card on the last turn of the game.
They have the bigger number right now.
They do have the bigger number right now. Oh, no, we're 14 to 12. We're winning by a very little bit. So in this deck in particular, for example, Quake is good because we can play her on the last turn of the game for pretty good value, typically. And then we'll get to bin weapon H. I think the way Spider-Ham interacts with weapon H now, he technically goes to, back to 7, yeah? Or does he not? Because it picked him and it's bugged. The cost reduction is a permanent effect. Oh, it's not ongoing.
Daddy, we're winning by the bigger
Death,
number.
death goes back up to 8, right? Is that right?
We have,
Death goes back up to 8.
we have the bigger number.
It's different than how death works.
Daddy, we have the bigger number.
We have the bigger numbers for now, but our opponent's gonna make some here. Okay, so do they get 10 here? And they're gaining 18 over here up to 24 at a minimum. So we're probably dead. I think we're dead. We lose to a 1-drop over here. Fantastic car. I think we beat that one, yeah? Because so I think they get 10 end of turns. But Havoc can only take 6 max energy. Or 5 max energy. Sorry, they're actually only gaining 15 here.
They have the bigger number.
Well, the game's not over yet.
Oh, we can still get a bigger number in the last one.
Yep, we're gonna see. Numbers are gonna go. We gotta see who gets the bigger one. So we gotta see. Do they beat 47 in the middle? I don't think they beat 47 in the middle. I think 47 is gonna be bigger than their number. So if they would have had another 1 for the left, it could have been scary for us. Like a sunspot would have been exceptionally bad. I believe when all is said and done, we're good to go here because Havoc's only gonna gain. Worth the call out that the extra energy from Jennifer Kale was instrumental here, letting us do a 3 plus a. Well, I guess we technically didn't need Swordmaster, but it did let us go 3 plus 4, which is the ideal. Sunspot would have had none after Havoc, right? No, I'm pretty sure Sunspot still counts the unused energy you had for the turn. Yeah, Havoc eats max energy, not current energy. Hey, I love you, but you cannot sit here and whine. Yeah. Okay.
And why?
I'm so mean, chat. I told her she has to go eat a snack and watch TV. It's brutal being 5. Imagine if you could for a moment, being 5. It's a hard knock life. I wish my boss would tell me that on occasion, right? Your house might as well be Alcatraz. It's good. It's a good comparison, honestly. I actually really liked the 7th Cosmos as a location. Although, that's a little annoying. What if we mulliganed?
Escaped.
What's the meme? I wake up and look outside, there's snow, there's no work or school. I come downstairs and there's pancakes waiting for me and I'm in a blind rage because I'm 4. What was it? I think the most useful, like, context for children you could ever have is like, children seem like they overreact to a lot of stuff, but like when you're really little, whenever anything bad happens to you, it's basically the worst thing that's ever happened to you in your life because not a lot has happened to you in your life. It's all a matter of perspective, right? You're like, man, that child is overreacting. It's like, well, I think I actually don't want to play Thaddeus here because I think I want Lady Sif to be able to tag the Infidot. So I think I'm just gonna Quake here. Oh, they must be a Wiccan deck playing the Cord into nothing. Are any of your kids interested in this game, or is it just Dad's game? This game actually isn't fast-paced enough for my kids to want to play it. If you'd believe that. Both my boys are super into Clash Royale and then obviously Fortnite. Yeah, must have Wicked in hand here. Take charge of the center and then hope to clean up the left or the right here. Hoping they play for the center this turn as well. So when they spew some points into our 25 lane. My youngest son would fall down and look at Mom and me to understand what was supposed to happen, and we would just say, ta-da, and he'd brush himself off and come back, and then his first word ended up being ta-da. That's a good story. Oh, I guess I can technically also just slam the Thaddeus weapon H here too, yeah? Is that the line? They have 8 energy. I think this is the line. Unless they're on Shang, I assume they have to punt the center. And I assume they're going to split between these other two. The problem with playing right where we're currently closer is they can play more than one card there, right? So they can play like Thanos plus something else with their 8 energy, which could potentially beat our Weapon X. So I think I expect them to play to both of these, and I'm hoping that going to 22 is more than they do here if they split their points with here. Mockingbird not being Shangable is sad. There's also a world where I do have 7. Is it ever just this? Is this too Shang-brained? I wonder if this is too Shang-brained. We feel bad to lose this little stone here. Yeah, I mean, worth noting here, if I'd have just slammed the weapon H left, we'd have lost that. But slamming it right would have beaten it. The Jennifer Kale was really an excellent suggestion from chat. Identifying that we just like really want to have 7 on 6 with some frequency. It's a great call out. Thaddeus is unfortunately just not very good against their deck. I wasn't even here for that suggestion, but I've already let the praise inflate my ego. It was such a good example of like a constructive deck building suggestion too, right? They're like, all right, this is a problem that we have, and this is a card that can solve that problem for us. And that's people, people always ask like, okay, how do we build better decks in games like this? And that's the one too, right? Identify problem and then try and implement solution to solve said problem. Is the correct way to be approaching those things. Could we have Agatha in this deck? I mean, I think Agatha's worse than the cards I'm already playing, which is why I'm not playing her. And I think if you just shove Agatha in here, the rest of your deck's probably worse than the established Agatha deck. And while most of the decks we're gonna build on stream aren't going to be good because most new decks are bad, something I explicitly try not to do when I build decks is build decks that are just worse versions of already established decks. Yes, agree with Steric in chat. The actual question you should be asking is, does the established Agatha deck get better from the inclusion of Weapon H? Which I would think the answer to that is no, would be my expectation. Again, just think about it from that problem solution standpoint that we were talking about. That you wanna ask yourself, okay, what issue does this deck have, and how are we addressing that issue by adding this card to it? And I'm not familiar enough with the Agatha deck to have a good answer to that question. Oh, what a miserable, sweaty human being. It's really funny how your odds of your opponent tech carding you go up the more they sweat. Great Web's gonna be a pain in the ass, especially with the uncertainty that Chamber generates in terms of stats there.
I'm coming for you.
I am Laced. I guess we'll leave. Let's play one more game here. I really don't like sitting here and playing 800 games against the same person or trying to test the new cards. If it looks like we're gonna lose this next one, we'll just bail out. Well, that's rude. How many H decks have we tried so far? This one, as well as Zombie Power Man stuff. And it was good as expected in Zombie Power Man stuff. Was the old peak a deck swap? The old peak applied a Mr. Negative to your hand. It inverted your cost and power. It was atrocious. This new peak isn't typically fun, but it's like way less offensive than the old one to set a low bar.
Opponent snapped.
Yeah, I think I'm feeling okay. Says local man about to be Mobius dead Mobius. God, I guess we can get Cosmoed too. It's all pretty bad. Interesting question here. I think it's this order since we drew this. Obviously not contesting the chamber path. If I sword mastered first, weapon H gets down to 3 energy. Oh, the Black Knight gets me otherwise. Yeah, good call. Good call, good call. So either way, if I didn't draw this, I would just not blade. I would only sword master. Of course, they're also playing Stardust. And this will leave them with priority, so they can't Shadow King my Ebony Blade. And then we're hoping to draw one of our 2/3s next turn to put 23 points over here. I'd be kind of surprised by Shang-Chi. Cosmic Ghost Rider is definitely in their output range. Red Guardian could be in the face downs as well. Yeah, them not having Thanos means they're gonna have a hard time putting up numbers in the last turn. If they have, like, Thing, First Steps, plus Mockingbird, they could overcome our Ebony Blade, perhaps. Give me a 2/3. 2/2. That'll do, pig. Allieth me, daddy! Allieth me, daddy! Papa, can you hear me? Papa, can you take my cubes now? All the tech slop, and this is what you've got. Do. Play around, Negasonic Teenage Warhead. Can this be destroyed? Can't be destroyed. All right, I did. I did play around Teenage Warhead. Ebony Blade can't be destroyed. Everybody telling me to order it the other way is wrong. See yourselves out. You should play around Echo plus Teenage Warhead. There's only one unrevealed card in their deck. Stop it. Stop it. Get some help. Oh my gosh. They retreated and are going to sweat 2-7. You know what, chat? I'm going to count this as my good deed for the day. They need this win really bad. I'm gonna, that's my good turn for the day. Try and help someone out every single day of the week. They needed that silver ticket. I'm glad I can help them out. All right, now you all can help me out by tapping the like button if you're watching this on YouTube and hanging out for these adverts. Don't go anywhere, gamers. Can you write that loss off on your taxes? Absolutely. I'm kind of digging this deck, chat. It's a pretty neat, fun combination of cards. We got a good mix of some interactive bits to get people. We've got good proactive numbers. Swordmaster might be a playable card. Second Dinner's so good at their jobs. Imagine this being a playable card. What's the weapon H variant situation like? I really don't want to spend $20. I'm probably not going to. Watch it be the only one. Oh, there's a Pandart coming. Honestly, that's not bad either. In 21 hours, absolutely buying this tomorrow. That sounds great. Yeah, I'm missing a blue background on Thaddeus. By the way, we were talking about Hex Shards of Fate because Corey Jones is working on the what's it called? These are lifetime in the last decade, my top 5 streamed games on my channel now. And if you're wondering how long it's been since Hex Shards of Fate was around, last time I streamed that one was June 2018. How are you liking the new card? New card is sweet. Helps out some lesser varied discard things. Seems powerful and good. I like it. I like it a lot. You should play Black Swan instead of Thaddeus. That's a very baffling suggestion. It's a lot more streaming for Pocket than I would have guessed. I mean, I played it for a better part of this year, and I stream about 2,000 hours a year. So it was about 2,000 probably high for last year actually. The last 365 days. It's actually not. The last 365 days I've streamed 1,800 hours. So Pocket being like 40% of that I think is on point. So that chart, the thing to note is the max viewer count on Runeterra and Magic the Gathering aren't real life because Twitch front page used to hit very different. It was basically view botting. Like there were far fewer people that would get front page slots, and when they put you on the front page, your count went through the roof. So the snap peak at 8, the snap peak and the pocket peak are actually organic peaks from a tournament we ran for Pocket, and then drops going on with Snap. If you consider drops organic, I think drops are I consider those organic viewership. Bobby, thank you for the 1.5 years. Welcome back. Yeah, PC launch with drops is really big for Snap. For sure. Okay, so we're gonna do this, and then I'm gonna Quake the Hellfire Club over to here, yeah? Or the Kill over to here. I literally never used Twitch before Marvel Snap drops. That is exactly why drops are so good and valuable for content creators. It encourages people to come over here for the first time and check things out. Quake's the best Marvel Snap card you're not playing enough of, gamers. Just so we're clear. The best around. No one's ever gonna bring her down. Do I want extra energy next turn? Or do I want 8 on the last turn? If I draw an extra if I have an extra energy next turn, I can play 2. I can play a That's close. I think I hold it. I think I hold it. That's close.
Cut off one head, 2 more shall take its place.
They Zola'd their magic. Spicy. That's adorable. I do this, and then I have 9 next turn. And then I could do this. We could double blade. Oh, is that good? Yeah, that's probably good. It forces me to Ghost Rider here, but that's probably fine. I mean, this is a little shag-brained, but I assume it's game-winning. Opponent is cooking. Cooking or baked, one of the two. Hard to say, really.
Victory.
I think the Fallen-1 build of Man-Spider is better than the all-in merge deck. I agree with that generally. That's literally my favorite way to play Man-Spider. And if you haven't seen the Fallen-1 version of Man-Spider, it's one of the many competitive, fun, off-meta decks you're missing by not being subscribed to my daily deck uploads on YouTube. Make sure you click the button over there to find all of the sweetest Marvel Snap decks around. This makes my Ghost Rider a little bit scuffed. But it makes this a lot less detrimental. Adeline. Okay, so we're eventually doing this. Do I do this? Or this, maybe? And then next turn I can Quake, Redshift the Infinite? Yeah, I like this, especially because it lets me draw Black Knight next turn, which is fun. Oh my goodness. Jeff Hogland is clearly hacking. Clearly hacking. This, how do we beat Ultron Middle? Can I beat Ultron Middle? Ultron Middle adds 12 here. I think we're actually cooked to Ultron gamers.
Minions to me.
There's no strings on me.
Chat wanted Hella in the weapon H deck, and they got her. You've got to trust Redshift to provide. He'll give you a mama when you need her. That'll do, pig. That'll do. The opponent is playing a Shadow King deck. Things to be aware of. So we're gonna want to be careful with this one. Makes Ghost Rider a nice draw. Probably going to Quake New York into the left this turn. Well, that makes things awkward. I think we're still doing this, but it could get a little bit screwy with them having our Quake. How good is this deck, Jeff? I think it's competitive. Do we think they could win the left? I don't think they can, yeah. So it just comes down to a flip over here. Do they king? They could, I guess in theory, they could king both the paths, yeah. Flipped heads. Should have flipped tails. I will say, all things equal, very clearly I enjoy Marvel Snap's core gameplay loop more than Pokemon Pocket because I'm still here playing that. I've bounced off of Pocket's gameplay at this point. But it's still incredibly funny to me how many people wrote off Pocket when it came out because they, quote, didn't want coin flips in their card game. Like, I could articulate a bunch of reasons why I ended up enjoying Snap more than I enjoyed Pocket. But being painfully oblivious to the many coin flips Marvel Snap involves is not one of them. to be pointedly articulate, I actually think one of the reasons why I fell out of love with Pocket is I think its games actually had too little variation a lot of the time. Marvel Snap was very innovative in the small deck sense. It's a game where, you know, your draws are very similar game to game. And I think Pocket really hammered home in my mind that the only reason the small deck thing works in Snap is because of location variance. Like if you're not getting your variation from your deck draw, it's pretty important that you get variance in some other way to keep the games interesting. And Pocket games get very samey, which when you combine that with the fact that their metagame doesn't change often enough, it gets very redundant very quickly. This is a pretty. Oh, I was gonna say this actually doesn't work. The Black Knight disrupting this plus Weapon H is a little sad. I wanted to do this into Blade, but the way this works, Weapon H comes back and then the Blade generates. Oh shit! But then it's a coin flip. Oh. Yeah, I guess that just doesn't work no matter how I slice it, huh? That's bad for me. Yeah, I agree, 4-Bit Clover. To take a poopy dump on something Marvel Snap does that's not very good. The feature locations really hammer home how important location variance is for this game to be enjoyable, because of how those feature locations do that. Hey Jeff, I haven't watched it a little bit. Are you getting involved with Riftbound at all? No, there's no appeal to a paper card game to me. People who have kids and who have time for a paper card game, I'm impressed. You people must have 30 hours in the day. That seems like way. It takes so long. Does Riftbound not have a digital client? It does not. It is purely a paper boomer game. I also, and this one maybe qualifies the hot take, and I haven't looked into how Riftbound handles it at all. But like, what's the average cost of a paper Riftbound deck, dollar-wise? I really must say, for all the issues these game economies have in like Marvel Snap and others, I really like that it's not tied to a stock market. I like that. I like that the pieces cost what they cost, and then I don't have to worry about them going up or down or all around. Yeah, like paper. So I just want to be clear that this is a stupid bit of logic that you constantly hear from people who play card games. The competitive decks in Riftbound cost $400 because of supply and scalpers. No, they don't. The cost of paper card game decks is always because the companies that make them make their game pieces artificially scarce for the sake of fleecing their customers for more money. And it's so eternally strange to me how people go to bat for these companies and are like, no, Jeff, it's actually the scalper's fault. It costs them the same amount of money to print. It costs them the same amount of money to print a chase card as it does to print a worthless piece of bulk. And if you want a good example of this, Pokemon TCG, their cards have been getting scalped for forever now, but they're still very cheap and affordable for their competitive decks because they do a really good job. They do a really good job of making sure that the cards that are chases in their game are cosmetic alternatives, not the mechanically unique cards.
I'm coming for you.
No Riftbound product is available at MSRP. It's not just the chase. So I'm gonna time you out because again, you really don't get it. Pokemon product also wasn't available at MSRP. They just made sure that the cards that were worth money weren't the competitive staples. So again, anytime your paper card game is, this is actually my favorite part of not playing a paper card game, is not having to lecture people on fucking basic economic stuff. That should be obvious. Like it's mind-numbing to me that like this isn't obvious to people. That it's not obvious to you that Riot Games or Wizards of the Coast or whoever else can literally print any card for pennies on the fucking dollar, and they're only expensive because of the artificial scarcity. Like how is that something I even need to explain? It's so strange. For the record, Pokemon TCG like World's winning decks are regularly sub $100 because again, the cards that are mechanically unique are cheap to acquire because the ones people are chasing are cosmetic variations. This actually ended up almost close because of their scored stuff. The scored in the machine world in tandem with the dark dimension over here was really funny. And again, as is always the case, I'm not trying to yuck your yum. If you're into paper card games and you have fun with them, like don't let the economy distract from them. I play plenty of games and enjoy them where the economy's not great. It's just like the economy is wholly and fully something the company that makes the game controls. That's just full stop the reality. The company that makes the game makes choices that dictate whether or not their individual game pieces are going to be expensive.
Opponent snap.
A pretty sweet hand for us. Pokemon scalpers are arriving in Magic and Rudy that Magic. Yeah, I mean, Magic the Gathering is a game that if scalpers really seriously move into that game, they're gonna make the actual decks really expensive. Because Wizards of the Coast does not do a good job of making their staples cheap and accessible. As someone who experienced multiple standard formats that had $1,000+ decks, like, it's a brutal one. All right, I've never lost a coin flip in my life, so I'm certainly not about to start today. Our hand was really good, and then Ben Brode happened. Agree, I left standard for a reason. I mean,
Escape.
outside of casual Magic the Gathering, all their formats rotate. For reference, I stopped playing Magic because of their power creep and non-rotating formats. Like they don't rotate, but they rotate with power creep. You have to have the Ragavans or whatever the latest power crept Ragavan equivalent is. Like you look at an average modern deck or legacy deck and like look at how many cards in them were printed in the last, 2 to 5 years versus being from Magic's history like those formats used to be. Why not play Moon Knight instead of Swordmaster? Have you looked at Weapon H's cost? I know that screen can be a little tiny sometimes on mobile. So the goal here is that Swordmaster is, typically speaking, going to be targeting weapon H for us, because we have very few odd-costed cards in our deck. That happens in Standard too. Wizards of the Coast rotates Standard every 3 years, but at their Worlds this year, the top 5 most played cards were all from the most recent set. Yeah. Yeah, it's really hard to overstate how good Snap is in no small part due to not having constant power creep. Snap reminds me of Modern from Magic the Gathering when I loved that format. It's a game where I can pick up and play Bounce, or I can pick up and play 24 other decks that have existed over the game's history, and even if they're not the absolute best or most popular, they're competitive and reasonable because they keep the power level so flat. Like no other digital card game goes back and rebalances things like Destroyer years later. That's just not how they choose to function. Do I want extra energy next turn? What if I do this and then get an extra energy, and then next turn I could go Swordmaster plus Lady Sif and get this down to 1? I think I'm into it. I haven't played Snap since Ancient Venom. How viable is returning with Battle Pass cards? You could probably pick up and play the exact same deck you were playing the last time you played Snap and climb to Infinite with it. You should check out my decks guide that's going to break down of over 50 archetypes. There's no more Spotlight caches. You just got to wait for the ticker to come up in your shop to get specific cards. They've done a very, very good job of it, top to bottom. The shop ticker's a little annoying, but it's also not the end of the world. All right, dodge drawing an Infinite. We can dodge a ball. All right, so this still kind of gets us where we want to go with the 7th energy next turn, right? So I'm going to be able to play a 3 energy weapon H and a 4 energy Ghost Rider. Is my out to win? Not 0 chance here. Yeah, Snap does a pretty... It's pretty uncommon that when Snap nerfs a card, they make it unplayable. Gosh, we're so close here. Wait, are we good? This is 14, right? Are we 10? Oh my goodness, I can't believe we won that.
Victory.
Jennifer Kale was such a... the Jennifer Kale suggestion for this deck might honestly be the best chat suggestion that's like ever been made in my channel. Was such a, hey Jeff, this looks like a problem that we're having. She's a card that could solve it for us. My ego is huge right now. Yep. This deck was fun. I think, you know, like I've said, this deck's a good example of why I enjoy Marvel Snap as a deck building game. We've got this new card that it doesn't feel overpowered, but it feels very playable. More specifically, it feels like this card has been given an explicit purpose for Swordmaster. The second dinner design team has done such a stellar job these last couple months of adding new cards to the game that don't just go in existing archetypes. They supplement cards that have been underserved in the game and have been underpowered. And this is just really neat mix of stuff. We've got 2 cards that give us a little bit of interaction on top of our numbers that we put out. If you're a Black Knight enjoyer, this seems like a very reasonable and serviceable way to play this. If you're looking for Weapon H in a more traditional discard style deck, I think I'm gonna post the Black Knight deck tonight as a highlight. Tomorrow morning, we played Power Man discard, and he felt like a very good addition in here as well. Previously, this deck had been playing Swarm, and Swarm makes Khonshu kind of awkward, giving you some variance in what he reanimates in your game. So having another discard payoff that lets Khonshu consistently fish back up your Colonel Americas and your Morbius and your other discard things felt really, really good and clean.